Welcome to another episode of the Chokeslam Wrestling Report coming to you from the YouTube channel. And today we're going to be talking about the exit from Cesaro from WWE and AEW bringing back Brian Cage. Those two moves that happened this week were surprising, more from the WWE side. Now, let's talk about Cesaro. Cesaro's been with WWE. If I am uh, could be wrong, I could be right, but I think he's been over there for mostly probably over 12 years in there, probably. And Cesaro, sometime last year, he decided to up his contract extension, but they didn't. According to the dirt sheets last year, they didn't mention it as a extension. They said that he resigned with WWE, but they never gave a number. They made it look like it was multiple years, and the first person who wasn't too happy about it was me. Not because I don't like Cesaro, because I mean Cesaro is a great wrestler and he was never given an opportunity to supposedly reach the what they call the brass ring, because they talked about it a long time about him trying to get to the brass ring, and we know for a fact that there's no such thing as a brass ring in WWE. Even I believe even Stone Cold Steve Austin brought that up back when he had Vince McMahon in his podcast, and McMahon tried to make it look like, oh, these guys are not really reaching out. When Cesaro had these matches with John Cena on the United States Challenge that John Cena had, he had some great matches with John Cena, and Cesaro has been a champion in WWE. He's been tag team champion on numerous occasions with Sheamus. I believe he was the United States champion at one point. I don't know if he ever won the Intercontinental belt. I could be wrong about that. But the guy is talented. Talented as hell. And for them not to come and try to keep him in there, and shows you how much they really care about these stars. This is something I've been saying for, I believe, for years about WWE, of how they push the same people over and over again, and they really don't do anything to to upgrade their roster, to upgrade their talent. They don't believe in creating new stars. They're not doing it. All they're gonna keep pushing is that Roman Reigns mentality they've been doing for the last 34 years, and this is what you're gonna get. And once Cesaro last year signed his contract, whatever it was, they claim it was only a 1 year deal. He beat Seth Rollins at WrestleMania, which gave him a title shot against Roman Reigns, and it was only a one-time deal. They fed him to Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns beat him, and he never got another title shot for the world title. It made him look like he was not in Roman Reigns' level. Now, of course, you're going to have these e-droids. They're going to come and say, oh, Roman Reigns is the best. Roman Reigns this and this and that. When in reality, there's no competition for Roman Reigns. So that doesn't make him a valid world champion or universal champion, because it's not the world champions. Universal, you know. When in reality, the roster in SmackDown has been pretty much, taken to a low level, because nobody could be Brock. I'm not Brock Lesnar. Roman Reigns. So they're feeding him to Brock Lesnar, or they're feeding Brock Lesnar to him, because I mean I don't see Roman Reigns losing to Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania at all. But that's another subject that we're going to talk about. But the fact is, Cesaro was only given a one-time opportunity to wrestle Roman Reigns. The match was good, but they didn't do a cliffhanger. They didn't do a follow-up. They just had them beat him one time, and that's it. And Cesaro was just pretty much not in big storylines. They weren't doing nothing with him. So the funny part is his contract expired, and they tried to re-sign him, and they gave him, I guess the two parties didn't agree with anything, and he said he walked. Now, there are dirt sheets out there. There's even Sean Rossap mentioned it, that there's a possibility that he could sign later down the line, but I don't see Cesaro coming back, for the simple fact they didn't treat him right. They did not treat this man right at all, and for him to come back and do the same crap again, I don't know, but this is what I'm talking about. WWE, WWE, they just don't care. I mean, McMahon said it a couple of weeks ago. He thinks there's nothing wrong with WWE, and of course, he's saying that because they still got a fan base that still watches their product and they just pushing the product. I believe Undertaker was in Bad Bunny's concert in Dallas. They're trying to push their product to another set of different eyes and people who don't know nothing about professional wrestling, who don't know about wrestling. And WWE pretty much already has, I mean, they've been saying it for years that they're not in the business of professional wrestling. They're in sports entertainment. And this is why you will never get nothing positive out of me as far as this company continues to do what they're doing. Okay? The fact that I have people on Twitter that are apologists to the WWE product and claim, oh, well, NXT got some, some future stars, and half of that roster is green. Okay, everybody going crazy with that new girl that made her debut, who wants to be a rapper and whatever she's doing. But this is what we get. They're trying to bring hip hop fans. They're trying to bring Disney fans. They're trying to bring all types of fans that are not professional wrestling. It's not for the people like me and for other podcasters who does wrestling podcasts, professional wrestling podcasts. We're not talking about the guys that does WWE only podcasts, because those you could tell they're not professional wrestling fans. Those are sports entertainment fans. Those are two different. So that's what happened this week with Cesaro. Where is he going to go? I mean, already Eddie Kingston is calling him out on Twitter, talking about that Cesaro doesn't have the balls to show up at AEW. So, I mean, these two have a history. There was a wrestling match around social media they're showing an old school match between Cesaro and Chucky T. So Cesaro's been in the scene before he came to WWE. I believe he was in Ring of Honor at one point. So he's been around. So hopefully we'll see where he lands. He'll be perfect for Impact, because Impact right now, I don't know what the hell they doing, but for one, they just lost Josh Alexander. You lose Josh Alexander, and now you got your world champion having a title match with Heath Slater out of all people, which is freaking ridiculous. It's funny as hell. Heath Slater, really? Well, I'll talk about that tomorrow on my audio podcast that I usually do on the weekends. So let's talk about AEW. AEW, of course, they were going around talking about that there's contracts that are going to be pretty much expiring. One contract that they picked up the 1-year option, was Brian Cage. Surprisingly enough, they picked up the Machine Brian Cage contract. They're keeping him in AEW. Brian Cage has not been seen in AEW TV since his last match with Ricky Starks for the FTW belt, and I believe that was somewhere in November or October. I could be wrong, probably longer. He has not been in TV, so that alone right there had everybody saying, well, he's not coming back. Well, surprisingly enough, Tony Khan picked up his option, the 1-year option, so he will be back. So we'll see what they're going to do with Brian Cage. And I think, plus, once they get who they need, right now, Tony Khan is supposedly this Wednesday supposed to make this big announcement. I don't know what it is, but it's supposed to be the big announcement. So we'll see what happens. And this is the Go Home show this Wednesday coming up. Are they going to do a match where who are they bringing in? I don't know. But the fact that they brought Brian Cage back, that is a good sign. So that alone is a good thing for us to check out. So also, there was word of another Impact star they left. I'm checking my phone here. Rachel Ellering, Paul Ellering's daughter, has left Impact. So again, another person that Impact has lost. I believe she was tag team champions with Jordan Grace, the Knockouts tag team champion at one point, but lost the belts. So also there's word also from Impact, this coming from Impact, that oh my God, who's the Brian Myers? Yeah, Brian Myers. He said he's a free agent. I don't know what he means, because supposedly I think Impact still has him signed, or his contract is ending. So he may be a free agent soon. He's talking about he wants to go to AEW. So that is something to look forward to. So it's a lot of crazy stuff going on in wrestling, and and the one thing I could say that really pissed me off when it came to Impact was the fact that they didn't sign Josh Alexander, and for Alexander to stay with Impact. So now my question is, Heath Slater is the #1 contender for most. That is a joke, a big time joke. So a lot of people may not agree with me, but come on, let's be real. Impact, they're too busy worrying about working. I believe still working with Ring of Honor at this Honor No More situation. Eddie Edwards turning on Impact, which now you take another contender out of Move's title reign, which is making it look like his title reign is weak. So I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. So that's a lot of news going on there when it comes to Impact. But these are the two main stories that happened this week, with Cesaro leaving WWE, which is that one caught me by big surprise, and Brian Cage being picked up by Tony Khan and AEW. That also surprised me because I thought Brian Cage was gone. I still want to see Brian Cage versus Kenny Omega, machine versus machine. That will be an awesome match, and we'll see what happens down the line. Again, shout out to Dirty Heels. We were supposed to do a interview today, but unfortunately my computer was acting up. I had to do all this stuff, so it kind of delayed. So hopefully in the future, I could be with my guys there. I want to definitely do a podcast with the Dirty Heel crew. So we'll hopefully sometime next week. But again, this is it for me. Again, guys, you want to follow me? You can follow me on the Chokeslam Wrestling Report through Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. I do polls on Twitter because I like to see where the wrestling fans' head is at. I try not to get back and forth with a lot of these shows because that's what they do. A lot of people just make stupid comments, especially Jobber Nation TV, which these guys are clowns. And yeah, I'm going to call them out again. They're a bunch of clowns who don't know nothing about wrestling, and they got a little fan base there that, a bunch of, trolls and people who don't know nothing about the pro wrestling industry. So, I'm putting y'all on blast. So, so also check out my store, the tcwr.veryimpressive.com. That's tcwr.veryimpressive.com. You guys can check that out, and there you're going to see the t-shirts, the hoodies, and the snapback hats I have there, so you guys can check that out. And help the podcast. It will support the podcast greatly. And now hit that thumbs up, hit that notification bell, subscribe to the channel, the Chokeslam Wrestling Report on the YouTube channel, and I will gladly appreciate it. Until then, guys, I will see you guys next week again. Cesaro has left WWE, and Brian Cage picked up by AEW. So we'll see what happens from here to the coming months, and we'll definitely check it out. Until then, guys, we'll talk to you later.